Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, St. Thomas man charged with abduction and rape. A 23-year-old man has been charged with multiple offenses after a woman was abducted and raped in St. Thomas. The accused has been identified as Richard Cummings, otherwise called Richie, of Heartist District, Yellows, St. Thomas. He has been charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, rape, robbery with aggravation, abduction, aiding and abetting, and grievous sexual assault. The incident occurred along the Albion Main Road on Friday, June 20. Reports from the Yellows police are that about 7:30 p.m., the woman was traveling in a Toyota motorcar from Yellows to Kingston when the driver picked up a male passenger. It is alleged that the driver later turned off the main road onto an unfamiliar route where the passenger pulled a firearm and pointed it at the woman. The police in their report said the men reportedly removed her clothes and sexually assaulted her before robbing her of an Apple iPhone XR valued at $35,000. A report was made to the police and Cummins was later arrested. He was positively identified during an identification parade and subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. PNP St. James West Central caretaker pays for poster space. The ongoing political poster issue in St. James took another twist earlier Tuesday with the St. James Municipal Corporation and the People's National Party caretaker for St. James West Central, Dr. Andre Houghton, locking horns. Houghton was accused by the corporation of placing a poster on their revenue boards in the areas of Pie River and Long Hill, resulting in the aspirant legislator paying the corporation a sum for his posters. According to reports, on Monday, a message was conveyed to Houghton about the poster being in the revenue-generating space. According to the chairman of the Commercial Services Committee, Councillor Arthur Lynch, Houghton and his lawyers were advised that they needed to remove the posters by 9 a.m. on Tuesday. We've identified a breach pertaining to a matter that is before the courts with the individual, Lynch said in a statement. The alleged breach that Lynch has referred to falls under a ruling handed down in the Supreme Court as part of an injunction granted to Houghton and other members of the PNP, Senator Janice Allen and Alan Bernard. The three had challenged the legitimacy of the corporation's ability to remove political signs belonging to them. Part of Provision 6 of the ruling reads that signs are not to be attached to revenue-earning boards unless relevant fees have been paid. Using this, the corporation took the relevant steps to secure their space, and with a report that this was not met, the posters belonging to Houghton were removed. However, it seems that, according to the mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, good sense prevailed and order restored to the space, with reports showing that the space was officially leased on the revenue boards for a month by a member of Houghton's team. The fact that you paid is that you acknowledged that you erred, Vernon stated in a comment to the news. He, however, indicated that, as required, he would not be speaking on the matter of the judicial review, since that is still before the courts. That stems from the fact that the opposition members involved in the matter are seeking the courts to quash a decision taken by the corporation regarding political posters being placed within the municipality. Church leaders join in expressing concern over transparency in FID appointment. Church leaders have joined in expressing concern over transparency in relation to the recruitment process for the post of Chief Technical Director at the Financial Investigations Division. It follows reports that the government had blocked access to information requests regarding the removal of the law enforcement experience criteria for the top job, which was ultimately given to Chartered Accountant Dennis Chong. In a release on Tuesday, the Watchman Church Leaders Alliance said it views the development with discomfort. The entire recruitment matter has unfortunately been embroiled in unnecessary controversy and undermined my avoidable criticisms of civil society groups and the church leaders the WCLA said, noting that it had provided recommendations to the appropriate office to address the matter in a fair manner, taking into account Mr. Chung's own rights as a citizen and the public's right to unquestionable assurance. But regrettably, we are yet to receive a response, the WCLA said. The Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, and the civil society groups have also expressed their concerns over the lack of transparency. At a press conference on Tuesday, Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Senator Dana Morris Dixon, insisted that the government has nothing to hide in the selection process and maintained that the removal of the law enforcement prerequisite didn't seem controversial to the team because the criteria in relation to law enforcement experience was not one that was there from the very beginning. Still, the WCLA said it urges the authorities to act swiftly to ensure that the right of citizens to be informed is not compromised by obstructive bureaucracy and indefensible roadblocks. The government has maintained that no impropriety took place, and therefore it is very important that there are no delays nor denials in requests for informational clarity, the group said, adding that it urges the urgent appropriate government intervention to ensure accountability to the public and to ensure that the integrity of the public service is not called into question or potentially brought into disrepute. FID warns Jamaicans as money mule cases increase. The Financial Investigations Division is warning Jamaicans to guard against becoming money mules following a rise in cases involving individuals who allow their bank accounts, identities, or businesses to be used to transfer criminal funds. According to the FID, young professionals, the unemployed, and the small business operators are particularly at risk. The agency says acting as a money mule, whether knowingly or unknowingly, can lead to prosecution under the Proceeds of Crime Act and other anti-money laundering laws. The warning comes after 3 people, Jerhuden Hines, Lavone Livermore, and Maison Green, were charged in connection with a $96 million fraud scheme involving unauthorized point-of-sale transactions between November and December 2022. The investigation is being carried out by the FID in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Constabulary Financial Unit within the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch. Principal Director of Financial Crimes Investigations at the FID, Keith Darian, said too many Jamaicans are putting themselves at risk by helping fraudsters move illegal funds. Too many persons, some knowingly, others out of ignorance or misplaced trust, are allowing themselves to become money mules for fraudsters, Darian said. When that money is tied to criminal conduct, you become a co-conspirator in a financial crime and you will be held accountable under the law. Darian added that ignorance is not a defense. The law doesn't excuse ignorance and willful blindness. If you facilitate criminal property, you will be charged, he said. The FID and the JCF say more arrests are expected as investigations continue. The public is being urged to report suspicious activity by calling the FID at 876-928-5141 or emailing contact@fid.gov.jm. The FID is also advising people to watch for common signs that they could be targeted to act as money mules, including requests to receive or transfer money through their bank accounts, being asked to open accounts for others, or receiving larger unexplained deposits with instructions to forward the money. Participation in these schemes, whether intentional or not, can lead to asset forfeiture, criminal charges, and permanent damage to your personal and financial reputation, Darian said. Protect yourself, protect your future, don't be a money mule. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.